Hi, so today we're going to talk about our new feature that was released today, which are the custom backgrounds. We also have a new way to upload images and upload backgrounds. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask it in the comments. I'm going to be switching between the project and our board, while I'm working on it. So just feel free. And kind of let's try to stick to questions pertaining to our lesson today versus because there's a lot of questions with the software. So, all right, let's see. Let me open up a project. All right, so one of the features that was released today is being able to upload a custom background. So if you have a background, sometimes people have their homes and they have their background, their neighborhoods, and they want to be able to upload their own backgrounds in the HD visual environment. We now have that feature where you can upload it. As part of the new HD visual features, you can also see the shadows of your environment before asking for a rendering. So a lot of times people have questions about how do I see my rendering before I actually use one of my renderings. This is actually how you do that. You're able to see the shadows as you move the sun. You're able to see it through the windows or on the outside. You're also able to like when you put your camera inside, you're trying to take an interior image. Now you have the option. Well, it's actually not an option. The computer automatically recognizes that you're indoors. So you don't have to keep trying to fidget with the lighting, trying to get the perfect lighting when you're indoors. So that's also if you select an evening environment or if you select a daytime environment, the computer automatically recognizes that you're indoors in the evening and it'll kind of dim the lights. Now you still have to put the lights on in the furnishing step, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But it's kind of cool because a lot of people have the issue of the lighting and the shadows coming inside through the windows when they're taking an internal rendering. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay, so I already have a project in. First, I'm actually going to show you, before we get to the HD visual, one of the newest things that we have. Instead of our trace image being on the in the layout step on the left, now you have it here on the right. It is automatic. It doesn't matter what floor you're on. You have the option for the trace image. And even if you're on, let's say, on the ground floor, you have the information tab right here, but you also have the trace image setting right next to it. So you can upload a floor plan for each floor if you like that as well, instead of having to switch back to trace image. Another thing about the trace, let me upload. I'm going to upload something. All right, so when you go ahead and upload a floor plan, it's like, as you see, the image is a lot larger than before. Before it was a lot smaller and it was kind of hard to measure out what you're trying to one of my users' projects is actually on the call, but yeah, you're trying to measure out what you're trying, like how to set the scale. Now is a lot larger, and you still have the option to upload a PDF, JPEG, and PNG image to use as a template. And then the ruler is also larger, so you can use your mouse. I hope everyone has a mouse to use, not an Apple mouse and not the trackpad on your computer, but an actual mouse to kind of zoom in. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here. The precision point is a lot better to be able to set the scale for your image. So let's say this is a layout that I want to have for, this is a top floor image, right? I'm going to actually set this point here, and I'm ignoring the roof because I don't want to include the roof in this. I just want the actual floor plan, right? So I'm going to put it on the largest or the longest length of the project. And then I'm just going to zoom to make sure it's exactly where I need it to be. Yep. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my dimension in the right panel. So for this, I don't have a specific one here. So let's say it's going to be 20 feet. So you put 20 feet and then you put enter. So you have to do both. You have to set your ruler on scale and you have to change your dimension in the right panel to be able to set exactly how you need it to be. I'm going to straighten this out a little bit. And then when I put validate, it's going to show up in the right, but I have it. Let's see, where did I put it? Oh, I'm sorry. I already have a project in here, so it's not going to show. I've already used this from a different project, so it's not going to show. All right, and then you can also go back and adjust the scale. You click on this button to go back and adjust the scale. You can set the opacity to be a lot brighter or a lot larger than you know, darker or larger than you need it to be. So here it is on the plan. So I've added it to my first plan instead of changing out this plan. If I increase my opacity, it gets a lot darker, so you'll be able to see it more. You can rotate the image as well. So you have these options down here. For now, I'm going to delete this plan because I don't need it. All right. Okay, so now when you want to upload an image, so you're going to go to your HD visual step, and then you have two options now on the right. You have your custom background option, and you have the customized background. And the customized background is where now you can click to customize your background. I've already have uploaded an image. I'm going to delete it for now. And when you click on customize background, this is what it's going to look like. You're still going to have the house. You're still going to have your terrain, and the sky is a little bit grayish. You kind of scroll down, select load image, and then click the background that you'd like to upload. See, for mine is JPEG, and it's the same thing. It's either JPEG, PNG, or PDF image. I'm going to upload it in. So now you see it's in the background, but you see that it's a lot smaller and the margins are kind of gray. So I'm going to actually scroll down in the right panel, and this is where you are able to manage that setting for the image. I'm going to zoom in, and you also have the options to turn the image 90 degrees if you like. All right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is where it says show settings. Now you have two options under show settings. You have your terrain layer and you have the infinite ground. So the infinite ground is, I'm going to go to the furnishing step, and I'm just going to show you. So this is your infinite ground, this grass area that's automatically in the 3D step anyway. So when you go to your HD visual step, you now have under show settings the option to, you can take away your terrain layer altogether. And if you take away your terrain layer, what happens is everything that you've created in the exterior step goes away. It's not deleted, it just goes away. So I'm gonna uncheck terrain layer. And now you see that it's just the house, the driveway, the walkway, everything that I created in my exterior step is no longer there, including trees that I've added. So just everything that was in the terrain level from the exterior step and like vegetation from the furnishing step, all of that it just kind of goes away. But you now have the option to, on the terrain level, you can only get rid of the infinite ground. So you can keep everything from your exterior step and your trees and everything, but then just uncheck infinite ground, and you still have the driveway, you still have the trees, you still have items that you've added in the yard and the walkway and everything. So this is what we're going to do for now. Once you add it in, you see it's a little bit wonky. It's kind of floating. You want to be able to do a couple of things. You can switch your camera to go to eye level view. And then now with your mouse, you have different options with your mouse. And I want you to look down here where it says activate advanced movement. Now, when you activate the advanced movement specifically for adding the custom background, you're able to move your image around up and down on the background. So for now, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to hold down the right click and move the image. I'm going to zoom out some more. And now when I go to my advanced movement for my mouse, I'm able to now zoom out, but then I'm able to move my actual image down to the terrain level, or like say the grass level of the image that I have I've uploaded. And you keep doing that. I'm actually going to delete I have some homes in the background. So for now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete those for the demonstration. All right. And then you can have the option. You can continue to zoom. The left click is going to move it a little bit more on the terrain, but the right click is where you can move it up and down. So you can move it horizontally and just keep going. I'm on the ground floor. Let's go down to your terrain, and I'm zoom out to give it a more realistic look with the background. And then I'm going to keep. So you just have to continue to position your camera and position your actual image on the background that you have. Next thing I want to do, I want you guys to notice is now we also have your this icon right here, which is the activate sun setting. So originally you could, every time you move your image, the sun automatically moves. And a lot of people, I'm going to deactivate this. A lot of people think it's kind of annoying that even if you've set your sun, it continues to move. But so now you have the option to lock it. So right now it's the image, the icon is white, so it's locked, so I can't move my sun. So once I set the position of the sun, it's automatic. But if I unlock it, I'm going to zoom out. And then in the right panel where the sun is, now you have the option, you can move the sun around, or you can click on this. And do you notice the shadows as I move the sun? Okay, I'm gonna go inside. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm also learning this. So you go inside. We're gonna go inside of the house. And actually, before we go in the house, let me show you, let me change my my environment. So I'm gonna switch over from the custom background now to a Cedreo background. I'm gonna add my infinite ground back in. And now on the right, I want you to notice that our backgrounds are also different. So now you don't have the indoor sun, indoor night, outdoor night. You don't have those options. You only have your countryside, your meadow sun. You have the big city option as well. You have wheat field. You have the white environment, and I'm going to show you how to create a white environment look. You have the sunset. So let's select sunset, but I'm going to move my camera inside. And right now my elevation for my camera is 10 feet tall. My walls are not 10 feet tall, 5 foot. So I'm going to put 5 feet. And now you come inside. So when you are setting the like your camera for a rendering, make sure you position your camera to where it's kind of at a human eye view level. And you can set that under the camera option parameters, and your elevation is how far up your camera is. And then you can also tilt your camera up and down. You can do that as well. You also have the option to move your camera here, but if you already have a mouse, just left click, moves it 360 around, and right click brings it in and out. So now we have different movements for your mouse versus I think before it was right click will move horizontally, and then now right click was moved vertically, now it's moving horizontally. All right, and then when you position your camera to ask for a rendering, I'm gonna change my light, my sun, and you see the shadows moving as I change the sun around. It's just showing me what the sun is looking like on the outside. So this dashed line is just the sun latitude and longitude. You also have now on the sun configuration, it'll tell you if the setting that you're currently in cannot move the latitude. And if it can, you'll see both options available. If it cannot, one of it's going to be grayed out. Oh. So I'm going to stay right here. I have a nighttime. I'm going to lock my sun, and now I'm going to ask for a rendering. So while the rendering is coming along, see if anybody has any questions. I must be doing a good job. Nobody has any questions today. While we're waiting for the rendering, another thing is when you have lights in your image, make sure you turn the lights on in the furnishing step. So you want to go to Furniture, select the light source, and in the right panel, click on your colors icon, select the light, and now you have it's always been there, but you have the 3 options to turn the lights off, and it's default automatically going to be off, and now it gives you the option to change all the lights at the same time. I'm actually going to put it on. You have your soft light and you have your LED light. So I'm going to put the lights on everywhere. It's already on. So make sure you do that. And another option as we're waiting for, let's see, it's still coming. As we're waiting for the rendering to come, anything that you want in your cross-section elevation or your side elevations, make sure you add it. Click on the furniture piece, and in the right panel, scroll down and make sure it show all plans on all plans. It's going to show on the plans that are 3D. It's not going to show on your 2D plans. So furnishing from the furnishing step does not show on your 2D plans. It's only going to show on the 3D cross-section and elevation views. Okay. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to actually switch and go outside and show you how now you're able to create a white background. So to create a white background, you want to select white environment. You want to position your camera. You can position your camera from the top view, or you can deactivate the roof and deactivate the top levels depending on which one you're working on. My house specifically has 1 level, so I'm going to deactivate the levels and I'm going to deactivate the roof and just kind of zoom in. And I'm going to position the camera at a tilt to see inside. And in the show settings, this is where you now can deactivate the terrain level layers or deactivate the infinite ground. If you deactivate the infinite ground, that means you want to be able to show the fence, the trees, and just the items that you have added on the exterior of the house. But for now, I'm going to deactivate the terrain layer, and it's going to show as a gray space. But once you render it, it's going to be a white environment. And a lot of people use this if they want to show, let's say, a 3D. They want to show the furnishing in 2D, kind of like a layout. This is the best way to do it, is to create a 3D rendering with a white environment and just deactivate the roof and deactivate the levels above and just kind of zoom to see the layout. And once it's captured, all of this in the background is going to be white, and it's going to kind of look like this white environment right here. I cannot render it just because we're waiting for a rendering right now. All right, let me check to see why our rendering's taking so long. All right, here we go. All right, so you remember that I did the the indoor evening environment. So let's ask for the white environment now. And this is what it looked like. So you can see the kind of the sky a little bit outside. I have my lights turned on and the light is like perfectly reflected in. You also see the tree, the houses that I added in the neighborhood in the backyard. So you can see all of that. And that's automatic. The sun is automatically adjusted and give it that like nighttime brightness inside without it being, you know, very, very bright. If it was the daytime sun, the shadows is also, you can see the shadows as well. So let's go to, I'm going to pick this. Add my terrain level back. I'm going to add everything back. And I'm actually going to go back inside. And I'm going to activate the sun so you can see the shadows as they're in real time as they're moving. When I come outside, you still see the shadows around the house. You see it around the trees. So it moves in real time. Depending on the longitude and latitude that I'm moving. So now you're able to see what your rendering is going to look like before even asking for a rendering. Let's see if I'm missing anything else before we get off. Anybody have any questions before we get off today? As you work on your project, oh, here's the white environment. So this is what the white environment will look like. So when you select the white environment, let me go back over it. Select the white environment. Deactivate your terrain layer. Deactivate the roof and the levels above, depending on what level you're working on, and just position your camera. You can either look on the top view for it to look exactly like this, or you position your camera like this, and then you ask for a rendering, kind of at an angle to give that white environment look. Okay. I see that nobody has any questions for me today. So just feel free to send in your questions at our support. Oh, wait, I do have questions. Can I render a top view? Okay. I added the customized background. Is fixed, or can it move a bit with the camera movement? The customized background is fixed. The only thing you can do is zoom in and out, or you can rotate it at a 90-degree angle. The only thing that you're able to move at an angle will be your the image in Cedreo. So the design that you have in Cedreo is the only thing that you'll be able to move around. So let me go back to that so you can see what I'm referring to. And you can switch between your customized background and the Cedreo background. So just kind of letting you know that. Before. All right. So you see that I'm able to kind of like move the image, especially since my advanced movement is activated. But you're not able to move your customized background. You're not able to move the background that you upload. You can only zoom in and turn it at a 90 or 80-degree angle. And you're able to move, give it a little bit of movement to where it can align with the house. But you're only moving it side to side, left and right, up and down. You're not able to get an evening or night look on the white background, just because the white background is specifically used just to kind of see a zoomed in area, a 3D version of your plan. So you're not able to do a evening environment on the white background. Danielle, you say you're confused. You have a couple of questions that you want me to go over really quick before we get off? Does anybody else have any questions? And was I clear? And as you open up your more are also around placing the backgrounds, but understand everything else. All right, so placing the backgrounds, let me go back to when you're placing your backgrounds, you're first going to upload the image, and the background's going to be a lot smaller. So originally, like, I'm going to delete this one so you can just kind of go back over it. So when you upload, I'm going to upload the image, and there's going to be an image that you have, and it might be this is how small it might look. But once it's like this, scroll down and you're able to zoom in to fill in the spaces. Because if you keep it like that, when you render it, it's going to have that gray area around it. So we suggest that you kind of zoom in. And then this is when you're able to position your house. And that's why it's better to use a mouse to position the house and to deactivate your infinite ground. Because if you have the infinite ground and you've uploaded an image that has a ground or a grass area, it's going to cover that. So that's why we recommend you deactivate your infinite ground to keep everything on the exterior and just keep positioning your camera. So you switch to eye level view, activate your advanced movement, and then just continue to move the house. And you can also use the movement option in the right panel as well. Okay, great. So you guys go ahead and play around with it. Send us an email at support@cedreo.com. If you feel like you need a one-on-one time with me, shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll send you my calendar link. Thank you guys. Have a good day.